Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Yeah, We Read It. My name is Laura. I am one of your hosts,
And my name is Meggie, and I am your other host.
and you have caught us in the sequel to Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter series, also the Mortal Instrument series. It's The City of Ashes. Two City, Two Ashes, Meg. That would have been such a good
Oh,
one.
to
We'll
City
get
to
to that later.
Ashes.
Well, you
That's
guys will
good.
understand what that's in reference to later, but I digress. This is our podcast. We read young adult novels. You know what we're reading. We have so much to say. Maggie and I, unfortunately, will not shut up about this book series of negative connotation.
It is plaguing our brains in crazy ways. Luckily, I haven't had any dreams that really mirror or match the energy of the books, and I'm shout out to God, I guess, for that one, for
Yeah,
creating my
I
brain
think this
normal.
book is really igniting my critical thinking, but like emphasis on the critical because a lot of things I'm like, why is this happening? And I feel like this is how it should have been done instead. So that's been fun for me.
It's true. And on my end, my journey of this book is I'm really trying to immerse myself in understanding incest culture. I told Laura that I watched a movie that is called My Fault, Your Fault, London. I don't, it's apparently a big
I've seen the
Spanish
Spanish
series.
version. Yeah.
Yes, I watched the English versions because apparently it's a big following. And my roommate just watched me like frown the entire time. And I really was trying to get between it because it's like they're
Well,
step siblings, they marry
that's
into it.
Maggie, you're like, I'm gonna dip my toe in with some step sibling incest, and you still frowned the whole time.
Yeah, I did. It was a pretty tricky, but the soundtrack bangs. They put a gay on that soundtrack, and he really did his job. I will say.
The fact of you describing it as like, yeah, it's pretty tricky.
It's pretty, it is. It's pretty. It's
You know what they say: stepbrother, stepson are pretty tricky.
pretty tricky stuff. They found themselves in a little bit of a pickle. I guess
What
I
a
don't know,
conundrum. How will they get through that?
but I can't speak on the experience. I've never been attracted to a step sibling or a sibling. I don't know, so
Yeah,
I don't know what the rules
I would
are.
say that's a pretty universal experience. So I don't know
Wait,
if
to
you
be
were trying.
attracted to or not be attracted
It
to?
is kind of weird that it's like, was Cassandra Clare trying to make Clary the most unrelatable protagonist ever?
I know it's like, and of course you guys relate because you
You
want to
guys
kiss
know
your
when you meet
siblings
your
too.
brother when you're 16 and then you wanna kiss him all the time?
Yeah, which is do they have a small student body? Why is she
They live in New York
in
City.
New York
Surely
City?
she can find anybody else to
She goes to the club. There's so many people to kiss.
there.
I don't know.
I don't know. Um
Forbidden love.
Oh, I just thought of another thing that I can't stand about the plot of this book, but I'll get to that later because we're going to open on the City of Ashes, where we introduced to a young white-haired warlock named Elias, and he's tag teaming with villain Valentine, and he's drawing a pentagram in this like apartment room. I don't really remember, and
Somewhere.
he's going to raise the fear demon Agramon. And Elias, he really Elias is the right way to say that.
We're so sorry to offend if we say your
Yeah,
name
so
wrong.
sorry. All of
Elias.
our huge Elias fan base, I
It
apologize.
really doesn't matter though because he's about to get murdered.
He
So
dies. He summons this fear demon, and he dies because the demon too scary. And Valentine was like, "This was all a part of my plan." It's a side scene. It's like a post credit scene to open a book. You know.
it so is, and that's the prologue. He's getting his little demons ready for battle. Mary's? How do you say Lightwood mommy's
I've
name?
been saying Maurice, but I like don't know if it's like a weird way to spell Marissa or what.
Okay, we're gonna
I
go
should have
with
looked it up.
Maurice. Maurice and Robert Lightwood are now back. They're overseeing the Institute now that Hodge went MIA, all crazy style. And they brought their little brother Max. So now we have Isabel, Alec, Max, who is like 10 years old,
Yeah.
and he's going to be living at the Institute as well. Mary is very cold to Jace, not really that friendly, even though she helped raise him essentially.
Yeah, she's like, it's not clear if she's mad at Jace because he's related to Valentine yet, or if she's really mad at Jace because he hasn't like said like, man, Valentine sucks. You know, I it's not really explained. But we're gonna cut to Clary, our like main protagonist. She's hanging out with her best friend Simon, and like her internal monologue during this is like, man, I really wish that Jace guy wasn't my brother. So she's still really hung up on the fact that she wants to kiss Jace, who is her biological brother, and she wants to kiss him, but she can't.
She can't, so she just kind of settles for kissing Simon despite not being attracted to him. And she's like, this is comfortable. This is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and we also get a one line mention that like Simon's like jaw and like bone structure is a little bit sharper. Simon like physically looks a little bit different since that vampire party that he went to in book 1, but we don't spend much time on it.
It's implied he's sexier, but not sexy enough for Clary to ditch her brother.
Yeah, it's sexy enough for her to kiss Simon and directly compare it to kissing her brother, which is canon.
Which is canon. Write that down. So Jace is kind of dealing with the news of him being siblings with Clary by just throwing himself into battle. So he goes to a werewolf bar, and we get a bit of a backstory on Maya, who is a werewolf there. She was turned into a werewolf by her abusive boyfriend when she was younger, and she's kind of amazed by Jace because Jace is moving through this world like the biggest asshole that's ever lived.
And I'm so Maya got like a huge backstory. She's barely in the book. Like she is in it twice. So that was confusing. But yeah, there's a whole commotion. There's like a half dead body in the alley. Jace is being rude to the wolves to try to stir up trouble.
Yeah,
and
it
Luke
seems
has
to
walk
indicate
in.
that he calls one of them a slur, and when they are saying that one of them got their throat slashed in the alley and he's just a cub, Jace was like, he deserved it. So they're all fighting, like Laura said. Luke steps in and he's like, I get that he's being an asshole. Let me talk to him. And Luke also calls Clary to come down. Simon, for some reason, huffing and puffing, is like, fine, I guess I have to go too. We just we're not going to talk about it.
Simon really is that friend who like will invite himself to things, which I kind of respect. And also like sometimes he needs to read the room that maybe he shouldn't be hanging out with monsters and demons and Shadowhunters all the time, but I digress.
I know, because, like, what are you going to do? You're just going to make her feel like shit about it the entire time.
Yeah.
So Clary and Luke are basically talking Jace off of a ledge of he is insinuating that since he's 17, he's going to run away. He's going to live in the human world. He can do it. And instead, they're like, how about we go to the Institute? Luke is like, let me talk to Mary's, because we used to be in the circle together, so she might respect what I'm saying. And of course, Jace is hurt because Mary's is the only parent that he's really kind of ever known.
Yeah.
Nice to him.
And Maurice is like, I just can't trust you, Jace, because you're kind of involved with Valentine now. So they're like, instead of us trusting you in any way, shape, or form, because we've known you basically your entire life, we're going to call the Inquisitor, who's the member of like the Clave Council. And their whole thing is they're of the law. And she's basically going to come and use the soul sword on Jace to see if he's actually a traitor or not. And that's like the plan.
Yeah, she basically has a grudge against Jace because obviously she hates Valentine, and she investigated all the circle members and punished them. And yeah, back at Luke's, he gives Clary her mom's steel. Simon's such a baby about this again. He's like, why do you want to be a Simon Hunter? They suck.
Yeah.
That's that moment. And then the Inquisitor is at the Institute, and I gotta say, Jace is not handling this well. He is being sarcastic. His attitude is piss poor. And she's like, actually, I have so much power. I am going to throw you into a cell in the Silent City.
Yeah, like, I don't understand, because, like, I get Jace is impulsive, but, like, I feel it hard to believe, based on, like, Jace in the first book, that Jace is this bad at, like, oh, I can't, like, turn on the charm for this person who could throw me in jail. Like, that felt a little strange to me.
Exactly. It is like the OC when Seth became two Seth. Now we're being Jace is becoming like two Jace. He's becoming a character.
Yeah, that's exactly
more than he was.
Exactly. You know? But yeah, Jace is an asshole, and she's like, I'm gonna throw your ass in jail in the Silent City, and then you can still try to be an asshole to me, which is like, okay, Inquisitor, throw down, actually. I do love that she's like, I'm not dealing with this.
No, she hates kids. She's not gonna deal with these meddling kids. At Luke's, Maya is there and she's sleeping over on the couch. Clary's like, Simon, you can come stay in my bed.
Simon
And
off just at a glance calls Clary his girlfriend in passing, and Luke has to be like, Clary, what's that about? And Clary's like, huh, I guess he did call me that. That's the scene.
and they start kissing again. They kind of indicate that she doesn't want to have sex with him. And he's like, well, I would like to at some point. And she, again, her internal monologue is like, this is nice. This is comfortable. It feels kind of like, just kissing a wall. It's not like Jace, where I feel like my blood is on fire when I kiss.
Yeah, so she's actively comparing it to kissing kissing Jace. It's bad. Meanwhile, Jace is like locked away in this dark prison. He starts hearing noises and screams, and like somebody, one of the Silent Brothers, enters in with a torch and collapses in his cell dead. So like Jace is like, what the fuck is going on? He ends up passing out. When Jace wakes up, Valentine is there. This is a very common theme I'm sensing with Valentine. It's like people like pass out and then wake up and Valentine's there.
I would
That
be
happens so
terrified.
much.
I'd be so scared. It's like, okay, so you're just watching me sleep? What are you, Edward Cullen? Relax.
And Valentine says, I've killed all of the Silent Brothers and I have the mortal sword. We actually don't know how many Silent Brothers there are, but we know they all live in the Silent City, so it's kind of implied that he's just decimated this entire place.
Did you find it crazy that he told his plan, basically? He was like, yeah, I got the sword. I killed them all.
Found it crazy that nobody talked about the fact that all of the Silent Brothers died at any other point in time in this book. That feels kind of extreme. Like the Silent Brothers were like a decent part of the first book, and then they all die, and we're just moving on.
I know exactly. Like, are they extinct? I guess at some point the Inquisitor does say that, oh, this must have just been a ruse because there's the other plot of this, the reason that Valentine wants this sword is he's just killing the children of Downworlders, and there is a fairy who dies in Central Park, and they think that it is a diversion from him going to get the sword and killing all of the Silent Brothers, which I guess if you don't have the sword yet. So is the ceremony of like, I need to kill the 4 children of Downworlders, is it going to work?
I don't know.
Who's to say?
But yeah, it's crazy. He gets the sword base so fast. And Valentine, like Maggie said, tells him the entire plan of like, gonna use the cup, gonna use the sword, be a bad guy. And then instead of Valentine being like, Jace, come with me and you can be my little lackey, he's like, I'm gonna leave you chained up and you'll find me when you want to. I'm not going to tell you anything about where I'm going.
Which is, if you want your son to join, now is a hot opportunity. You can really manipulate him to get.
Yeah, like you could be like, wow, the Quave locked you up. The Inquisitor is such a bad person. Don't you want to join me? Manipulate the shit out of him.
If I was chained in the dark, I would do anything to get out of there. And I'm just hearing people scream. Yeah, no.
And now you're chained in a dark room and you know there's a dead body lying on the floor.
Oh my god. And
That's
then you can
terrifying.
probably start seeing the outline of it as it gets darker and you get accustomed. I hate that. Isabel calls Clary to the Institute. She's like, Jace is gone. We need to go get him. They enter the Silent City. They see all of the Silent Brothers. They're dead. Clary somehow opens Jace's cell by just thinking about the word open. She draws a little rune and she's like, open. And it makes it look so easy.
So easy. And they find Jace, and Clary cannot help but just caress the shit out of his face. And like she's like, I don't know if this is how sisters should act. It's not. But
that is true. I think I would give my brother like a firm handshake after I saved him.
Give him a firm like, good to see you, buddy. A nice salute.
Good to see ya. Like slap on the back like brothers do. It wasn't that bad down there.
They leave, they get him back, and Maurice is waiting for them at the Bone City exit, which is kind of weird that she didn't go with them and was like, here kids, you go in. Like, that doesn't make sense to me either.
Well, they were in Central Park attending to the ferry, and then the Inquisitor, such an asshole. Jace comes out, he clearly has like this demon poison in him and he needs to go to like a hospital because he keeps falling down, and the Inquisitor is like, wait, no, I want to interrogate him. Because why the fuck was his dad coming and stealing the sword when I was going to use the sword on him at the trial? And Jace can't even string together a sentence. Let the man live.
So, like, and their whole thing is like Jace isn't allowed to stay at the Institute, so they're just gonna like let him stay with Magnus for a while.
I love this. Yes, the Inquisitor is like, fine, he's gonna be in prison there. And so they go to check on Jace. They're like, hey, how are you doing at Magnus Bane's? And they have this situational comedy where Magnus Bane is like, I hate him. All he does is clean. And then Jace is like, all Magnus has is TiVo. All we watch is Project Runway. I'm over it. I don't want to be here.
It is very, very funny. And they basically reconfirm like Valentine's plan of like the sword's gonna let him have this whole demon army, and that's what he's doing by getting all these like creatures to complete his ritual.
He needs the blood because there's this ritual of infernal conversion, which apparently the sword is supposed to be an angelic item, but once he kills and gets the blood of like fairy, vampire, werewolf, I don't remember the other one, zombie, no, I'm kidding, that will turn the sword into an evil sword where he can have power over demons.
Exactly. But while they're explaining this, Alec gets a phone call from the fairy realm, which is normal. He has them on speed dial, I bet, because that's like, again, this
he's a fairy.
Like, why did they call Alec about this? And the fairy queen wants to meet all of them to see what they know. And Jace is like, I don't know about these dang fairies, but he agrees. So they're now going to go to the Sealy Court of Fairies. And I do have to pause here because we're about 16 minutes into this podcast and we have covered 145 pages. And I think that kind of describes how much extra fluff is in this book for minimal plot points.
They're quite as a bit. It's pretty cool how they get into the fairy court.
That was cool.
To jump in a pond that is in Central Park, and they basically do it under the moonlight, and then they come out, they're dripping wet. That kind of sucks. Jace does indicate that fairies, they're tricky people. We gotta be careful. We gotta be really careful with them.
Yeah, he's like, don't touch anything, don't accept anything, like, mind your P's and Q's. We meet this guy, Meliorn, who's a hot fairy that, like, Isabel hooks up with sometimes.
Love that.
Yeah, great detail.
That. Get yours, girl. And then they discuss the deaths that are going on with the queen. She's not too happy about it. And they indicate that it's Valentine. They really need her help when the time comes. And they agree on it. And as they're leaving, Clary realizes that she can't leave. And the fairy's like, well, it's because I told you you're not supposed to drink or like eat anything of mine. And had someone pricked like her finger. And so she was sucking the blood, which had juice on it. And what does the fairy queen do? But she's like, I want to kiss. And they're all trying to figure out, they're like, what does that mean? So they're all like talking about who's going to kiss who. And she's like, nope, I want to kiss from her. And points to Clary. And she's like,
and you have to kiss the person you desire the most. And I'll know if you're not doing it. And Clary doesn't even like try to pretend to go for Simon. She like, which is also crazy to not even be like, let me go with this guy who's my boyfriend because clearly that's the person I desire. She's like, okay, and immediately starts passionately making out with Jace, and like Jace isn't stopping it, nobody else is stopping it. It's just happening. It's yikes. It's big yikes.
It really is. They pull away. Jace is like, there, are you happy? And the fairy queen's like, yes, I really liked watching that. They go back to Central Park. No one's talking. Almost immediately, Simon takes off running. He's like over the hill calling a cab.
No, and like, here's the thing that I also am so like mad we didn't get. It's implied that Simon is mad because Clary didn't choose him. Simon is not grossed out that she chose her brother. He is simply more upset that he was not picked to be desired.
This is true. He tries like once to be like, isn't this kind of crazy? And Isabel's like, I mean, I had to kiss Alec once to leave, I guess I would. And then Simon's just throwing a tantrum because it wasn't him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how pro-incest pretty much all the characters are, actually.
I do think it was weird that Isabel was like, I would kiss my brother. I was like, why?
Yeah, as if like Cassandra Clare's like, no, you guys, this is a normal plot to have in a children's book.
I know. They head back to the Institute. They're going to wash off. And if the kiss wasn't enough, nothing happens. But Jace is like, I'm going to go take a shower and put on a towel. And Clary, you can wear a big t-shirt and mind a bed. And you can lay in my bed. And they're
going to talk about it because they're going to be like, we should probably talk about the kiss we just had and how your boyfriend's really mad at you. And the whole culmination of this conversation is Clary being like, I just really wish you weren't my brother.
It is. And he's like, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. I don't care that we're siblings. I want you so bad. And she is like, but it would hurt people and it's sick and it's
Yeah.
perverse.
Jace literally like basically insinuates like maybe it doesn't matter if we both feel this way, which is insane.
I know. And so she goes to call Simon just to make sure he's okay. Jace comes out, towel around his hips, being like, "You're not calling that mundane, are you?" Hand against the door frame, probably dripping wet. Um, and yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. She is calling Simon and trying to figure out where he is. They all go to bed, and then in the middle of the night, they wake up to banging on the Institute door, and it's Raphael, the leader of the vampires, standing there with Simon's body in his arms. He's like, he's not dead, but he did this crazy thing where he walked into Hotel Dermont, basically just wanting to ask questions, and then everyone attacked him.
Which, I'm sorry. The fact that we get so many cutaway scenes in this book, and we did not get the cutaway scene to Simon being intrigued to go to Hotel Dumont and this happened, and we just heard about it in passing, is actually insane to me.
I would have loved to see it.
Love to see it. But yeah, like I would have sacrificed so much. I would have given Cassandra Clare an extra 20 pages to do this, but no, she didn't. And so basically the whole thing.
Yeah. It was so like, does he keep asking the questions as he's being attacked?
Like,
I
also,
need to know.
like there's no like we truly do not know why Simon wanted to go to this place. Like we kind of understand that he was intrigued by the fact that he was bit a vampire, so like he kind of had some like venom in him, but like
he was having some side
clear.
effects, and he, instead of just, I guess, Googling it or waiting out the side effects, he just walked right in there like, surely I can ask them questions.
Yeah. Hey guys, I have some questions.
Hey guys, I'm just feeling kind of weird and my jaw's really nice now.
I'm hotter all of a sudden. Is that normal? So Raphael basically is like, we got two options. We can bury him and then he can claw his way out of the ground and then he'll be a vampire. Or he can just be dead. So what do you want?
Clary's like, think, what would Simon want? You know what? I think Simon wants to be alive and see me kiss my brother more. So they take him. I mean, they take him to a Jewish graveyard, which is respectful of Simon. You know, I love that they went out of their way to
that's
respect
nice.
what would be his burial. And
Clary does respect his religion, does not respect him as a person.
Doesn't respect his sexuality, which is Clary. He is kind of trying to claw his way out, but he's having a really hard time. Clary's like, we had to help him, and they're holding her back. He gets out, and Clary goes over and immediately, just all red flags are down. She is like tending to him, and obviously he tries to get her blood.
Yeah, because he's hungry.
And then she's like, this isn't the Simon I knew before. And Raphael's like, give him a minute. I have a blood bag. Let me feed him. He's fine. He'll be fine.
Like Raphael did not want Clary to come for this exact reason. Clary next is going to go visit her mom in the hospital.
Finally.
200 pages in. Her mom's been in a coma and she's just been messing around with her brother, I guess, instead. And also Jace never goes to the hospital either. He's like, this girl's my mom, but I guess I don't want to see her.
I know. Jace is like fine with his father abusing him for 10 years, but the mom that didn't even know that he was still alive,
that's where he can't forgive that.
So she's at her bedside. We get this shortest interaction in the world with the mom, which is so funny for how big of a part she plays in the book. Luke overhears Clary being like, what happened to Simon is my fault, and insists it is not her fault. And he does this really funny thing where he gives her a guide on coming out as gay to give to Simon. And she is like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, it's kind of the same thing, coming out gay, coming out vampire. Maybe it has some good tips in there. And when he gives it to Simon, Simon's like, I don't need this. My mom already thinks I'm gay. Awesome.
And like also like Simon's waiting for her at Luke's and basically like talking about being a vampire. And Simon again, we have another character who just has like no emotional feeling about like being a vampire. He's like, this is weird now. I guess I'm just a vampire. Like there's no stakes, which is crazy to me because his entire like life just changed because it doesn't exist anymore.
I know. So they're at Luke's and Luke kind of brings back Maya. She's got a busted shoulder because she was attacked by a demon. It's like a demon poison. So Simon calls Jace. He's like, "Hey, will you come and bring Alec and Magnus Bane because he's like our resident healer nurse guy?" And so as Laura said, Simon's not really feeling anything about being a vampire just yet. So Maya goes ahead and just kind of tears him to shreds about being a vampire. She's like, "We're not
And
supposed to be friends because I'm a werewolf and you're a vampire and I
yeah,
fucking
and
hate
he's
you."
not really hurt by this either. He's just like, well, that's Maya, I guess. Like,
Just
again, there's
trying to
no
make
stakes in this conversation. I'm sorry. Magnus and Jace arrive to help, but they notice that like Luke, who went out to like repark his car, is suddenly MIA. And they go outside, they find him fighting demons that are like dragging him to the water. So they have to go fight those demons and drag Luke inside. And they're like, thank God Magnus is already here.
Yeah,
Because he
Clary
can
holds
help
up like
it.
a steel, and one of the demons is just like afraid of her, so
Yeah.
it leaves.
Yeah. And then we also get like a sidebar that Magnus and Alec are hooking up.
Yes, it's so true because Magnus is like, "Well, now I got to heal Luke too. I'm not doing it for free." And Jace is like, "Yeah, you're going to. You're dating a friend of ours." And Alec goes so red in the cheeks. He's like, "Oh,
Oops.
we aren't dating." And Magnus Bane is like, "Okay, then what do you call this? We're literally dating."
Oops.
Which is so funny. So now Alec is out, I guess. Jace and Clary, they have another discussion about how hard it is to stay away from each other, and Simon overhears and is once again mad, which
Yeah.
why are you punishing her for not liking you? Punish her for liking her brother. How about that?
Literally, like Simon is again like mad that he can't trust her to like be monogamous with him. And it's like, no, no, no. You can't trust her because she likes her biological brother. Different thing.
Different things. We need to get a journal. We need to differentiate and kind of learn where to prioritize our anger.
Yeah, and like the whole thing is Jace is gonna stay at Luke's for a little bit, and but like they need a prisoner at Magnus's, so Alec is gonna stay at Magnus's for a little bit. Raphael shows up at Luke's to give Jace a motorcycle. When Jace asked Raphael for the motorcycle, we don't know. And Jace is gonna take this motorcycle, the flying motorcycle, to go to Valentine's boat, which we do not know when Valentine got the boat, why Valentine has a boat, or how
Also,
Jace
how does he
knew all of this
know?
information. Like
Yeah.
this entire scene just came out of nowhere for me. I was like, when did Jace ask Raphael for this? How does Jace know that there's a whole like, and it's like a cruise ship sized boat on the Hudson or something.
It would have been so amazing. You could have had a scene where he just like hangs back at the graveyard. There's the Raphael loose
Yeah.
end.
When before
Valentine
Valentine
could
leaves, have him be like, by the way, I got a boat.
Yes.
Come find me on it. Easy.
So, anyways, he lands on this boat that Valentine is commandeering, and he at first sees what apparently is supposed to be Clary's death. He's so scared he blacks out. He comes to
A
Valentine's
theme,
interest.
a motif.
Valentine always showing up when someone passes out, and he's like, "Neat, isn't it? That's Agramont. That's the demon of fear." He takes the thing that you're most scared of in the world. And then Valentine figures out that Jace is most scared of his sister dying, and he's like, "Wow, the love you feel for your sister. Inspiring." Dare
We
I
did
say.
forget to mention that something that happened in like the Sealy court with the fairies was the Queen Fairy was like, hey, you guys were both you guys both don't have normal blood. You guys got special blood because Valentine gave you special blood. And so now that Jace is face to face with Valentine, he's like, so what's my blood? And Valentine's like, I'm not going to tell you that. And Jace just drops it. He's not like, oh, let me go to Magnus. Let me go to like anybody else I know who could figure this out for me. He's like, okay.
Yeah, if I was special, I would want to know immediately.
Be calling in so many favors to figure that out. I'd have Raphael, like I'd pour some blood into a cup and I bet he could tell me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Swish it around, take a little taste of it.
I like that's the thing that I think is like irritating me about these books. Like things like happen and come up and then everyone just goes, yeah, okay. And like nobody tries to fix anything or solve it or like think about it. It just happens.
So he's got special blood. He's not gonna look into that whatsoever. Valentine does hand the sword over to Jace because he's like, "Hey, Jace, I kind of want to show you something super cool." And as he's holding the sword, he sees all of these demons that are going to essentially attack, and he's realizing that the Clave is so outnumbered and so fucked. And Valentine's like, "And that won't happen. I'll actually protect the people that you love if you join me." And then we end on not knowing where he's gonna go, but it's pretty
Yeah.
obvious he's not gonna join Valentine. Who
Part
has it at this point?
3. It's part 3. It's the next morning, and everyone's gonna summarize what happened the night before, like we didn't just read about it. and nobody has a thought on it. They're literally just re-summarizing the events. And Jace comes back. Nobody questioned where Jace went.
I know, that
And
was
that
crazy,
was
but
crazy. And Clary's like, look at this rune that I thought of. And it's okay.
yeah, because I think Jace is kind of obviously piecing together that they are special. He's taken a moment and he's like, actually, Clary, how did you rip the door off of the Silent City? And she's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I guess I like drawing. And they're like, perfect, you're good at runes. You're gonna draw one that is for Fearless. How about we just spitball? We just kind of improvise what that might look like. Maya is feeling really guilty over yelling at Simon. She has this crazy line of dialogue that I love that she says, quote, oh, you know, Jace reminds me of an old boyfriend. Some guys look at you like they want sex. Jace looks at you like you've already had sex. It was great, and now you're just friends, even though you want more. Drives girls crazy. You know what I mean? Yes, Clary thought no. And then she says, I guess you wouldn't, being his sister.
Which, like, insane for Maya to say that, insane for Clary to say that, insane for Maya to say that, insane all around. Actually, insane all around. Um,
Yeah.
Clary spitballed Fearless Rune. She puts it on Alec, and they're like, I guess we'll have to see next time Alec is like scared about something. And the Inquisitor and Maurice and their dad Robert all come over, and Alec almost starts telling them that he's gay because he's suddenly fearless now, so the rune is working. And the Inquisitor somehow knows that Jace saw Valentine. I think she put like a tracker on him or something. It's not fully
Mhm.
explained.
Yeah, she did.
And she's going to take him to Idris because she needs to run him to a trial with the Clave. And so she puts these fire cuffs on him and they book it out of there.
They book it. Maya, and this is so funny of her, and it's so relatable. She's like, oh, there's so much action happening here. No one's thinking about me. No one's talking to me. So she just runs out, and I imagine that she's jumping out a second story window
Yeah.
and running away. And she leaves a note that's basically like, I need to make amends. So she's on her way to Simon's. Valentine thrilled about this because he's like, whoa, now I can just capture the werewolf because she runs immediately into the demon of fear
Yeah.
and bleed her out, finish the ritual. So now she's a hostage.
Yep, she's it happens so fast. They're back at the Institute, waiting to portal themselves back to Idris. The Inquisitor puts Jace in a cage. We also learned that her name is Imogen, like this far into the book. And the Inquisitor is going to drop a bomb. She has ulterior motives. She's not going to take Jace back to Idris for a trial. She thinks Valentine loves Jace and she can trade Jace for the mortal instruments back. And Jace is like, why would you think that would work? He's the bad guy.
Jace is like, listen, I get it. You loved your son. You're kind of sad that Valentine killed him. So you're using me as a revenge. I get that. It doesn't work like that with Valentine. He doesn't give a shit about me. But the Inquisitor is like, no, he does because he is a person.
Yeah, he's a father. He's a daddy. He
He's
loves
a
you.
father. You wouldn't understand unless you were a parent.
And Luke and Clary finally realize that Maya is gone, so they're gonna go look for her. They're gonna call Simon on the way. He's like, "Hey, I haven't seen Maya," but as he's on the phone, he's like, "Shit's going down," and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta rush on over to Simon's." And Valentine takes over the phone and is basically like, "Got your vampire friend," and then line dies. Hit.
Alec, meanwhile, he is going to go and spring Jace out of jail. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be honest, this little configuration looks a lot harder than I thought. Here's an apple. He kind of rolls an apple underneath because Jace is otherwise gonna starve to death. And Jace, I'm so sorry. Jace in this moment somehow realizes what his special power is, and it's just jumping really high.
Or yeah, jumping up and jumping down. That's Jace's special blood power. And because like Alex like, well, I see this cage doesn't have a ceiling. Maybe you could jump it. And he does.
So that's his special power.
It kind of feels like this felt like a Mad Lib. It's just like, and Jace jumps out of prison.
It's like, cool, my sister can just, I guess, create any sort of spell she wants,
Clary
and I'm
has
just a
the
frog.
most useful power I've ever heard of. Me, I can jump.
He can jump. So he does. He springs literally out of jail. Luke, meanwhile, back at home, he's piecing together that Valentine has taken Simon and Maya because he is pissed at Jace for turning down joining him and seeking revenge. Alec brings Jace back to the Institute. They call Clary, only to be told, Simon's been taken. And then Simon wakes up next to Maya, bound and chained. They're on the boat.
I did think it was crazy for Valentine to send them a text being like, by the way, I have everything for my ritual. As if any villain in the history of ever would tell the people that are trying to stop them, hey, FYI, you're on a tight clock, by the way.
I like to think he used an emoticon. Honestly, Valentine to me gives that he has a signature to all of his texts. There's like just a
Hyphen
sign off.
Valentine with a heart.
Really think that he does. So they're chained on this boat. Maya updates Simon that Valentine seems to have control over all these demons. Valentine shows up, his favorite thing to do. He just throws some powder on Maya and she starts like
Silver
burning
powder. It's
and
bad.
bleeding. And he immediately goes and he's like, you know what? Actually, also, Simon, you're kind of pissing me off. And he slits Simon's throat.
That was crazy.
That was nuts.
And we also need to talk about, because like Jace is like, well, I can't leave through the front door because the Inquisitor will see me. So Jace straight up jumps from like the third story of the Institute, and Luke and Clary are at the bottom in the truck being like, holy shit, Jace just jumped off the Institute and he's fine. And then they move on so fast.
Yeah, it's boat time. Luke, Clary, and Jace, they're driving in Luke's car. They realize we need to get to the boat. And it's literally
Like,
this
oh,
line of
shit,
thinking.
this is a land-based vehicle.
It is like, actually, I think that I wrote the line down, which is like, if we're going to get to the boat, we need another we need another boat.
Spend time like looking at the wheels of the car and looking at the water and being like, how is this gonna work?
I know, and Luke's like almost pissed off too. He's like, well, Jace can't walk on water. And it's like, why are you you're the adult in this situation. Why are you mad?
Like, clearly, surely you knew the boat was a thing. Like, why are you getting there being like, oh shit, it's a boat?
But don't worry, they have a loophole, as they always do. They're using Magnus Bane again.
It's just the loophole for everything. I'm sorry. It's like, it feels like every time like we can't explain how they should handle something, it's like Magnus just comes by.
Also, he has a hustling and bustling social life. I don't think he would give everything up. He'd probably be like, I have a party. I can come like 3 hours after when it's done, but like I can't.
So
I have a party.
You can't make like Magnus this giant socialite, but then also have his calendar completely free whenever's convenient for the plot. It doesn't work like that.
No, spoken as a true it girl, my calendar is booked and busy.
Thank
booked and busy.
God.
So Magnus
No,
comes,
just
he makes this into like an aqueduct, those like those boats in Miami that they'll like go in the water, and it
and
works.
They floor it, and boy does it just float on the water, as normal as possible.
Yeah, Jace has Clary put the Fearless rune on him just in case he runs into the Demon of Fear again. He just can't see his sister die. It's the worst thing in the world.
And Luke, like, for some reason, while they're like, well, I know we're about to face this villain, but maybe I should deliver the backstory on why the Inquisitor is the way that she is. So he gives her this long-ass backstory in the middle of like prepping for combat about her son Steven and how he was in the circle with them and how he was like so enthralled with Valentine, and he had a wife and he died, and then his wife killed herself but she was pregnant, and that's why the Inquisitor hates Valentine so much, and that's why she sucks, because she misses her son.
It was such a domino effect. Son dies, wife kills herself, and then the dad dies of grief, and then the Inquisitor's like, I'm all alone. I guess I would also seek revenge.
Yeah, but she's going about it all wrong. But either way, weird time to deliver this much information. And they just kind of leisurely strolled to the boat, I guess. I don't know how, like, it's not explained where the boat is, like, if it's in the ocean, if it's in like, the river.
I was imagining that it's a big boat. Yeah. And so it's like, how do they get from the truck boat to the big boat? I really didn't understand. Do they just, well, for Jace, he jumps, I guess.
And, like, Luke swims, and Clary gets carried. So, but it doesn't seem like there's a ladder over the side of this giant boat. So, it really doesn't make any sense.
It's time for Imogen, the Inquisitor's big plan to finally go into action. Alec and Isabel, they burst into the library at the Institute. Marzi and Imogen are talking. Valentine appears, and Imogen is like, I'm ready to pull my big one.
I have to pause us here, Meggie, because like there's been multiple times in this book series where just like Valentine hologram appears, and it's like, could you just like decline the call ever? Like,
Yeah, is it just like, oh fuck, and now he's in my room?
and now he can see me. He's in my room. Like that's creepy.
It'd be such a good prank, but I would be annoyed that I have no say in it. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
it's just like I'm trying to sleep right now. And
he
he
pops
basically,
up. Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
He pops up, and the Inquisitor is like, listen, I got your son hostage. He is in jail. I'll give you it for the instruments, or I'm going to kill him. And Valentine's like, okay, whatever that means.
Yeah,
So
he's like,
what?
go ahead, kill him. Bye. Why did Valentine show up to this? Like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense why what's Valentine's motive for talking to these two people?
I
That makes
really
no
don't
sense.
know. He doesn't get anything
Like,
out of it.
he's losing time to do his plan by for some reason talking to these people. Okay, because did Imogen be like, I'm gonna place a phone call really quick, and Valentine's like, hey, what do you want? I'm busy right
I know. She's realizing, like, oh shit, I guess that we are actually going to have to engage in war. So she's got to call up every Shadowhunter in the city. And Alec is like, oh, actually, by the way, Jace did jump out of jail. He
yeah.
just kind of sprang, hop and a skip.
Yeah, and he explains so how Clary has these cool rune powers and she can create her own rules. Jace can just jump like up or down really high.
Jace can just jump. Sadly, he can't jump that high because a winged demon comes and just swoops Clary up.
It's like Jace can't jump like with like he can't jump from the car up to the boat. Like he has to swim. He's like, no, it's too far of a jump.
And I do kind of love this moment because for how much Jace is always scared that Clary is going to get killed, Clary is wearing Jace's jacket. And this big talon winged demon comes, swoops her up, and he is like, that was my favorite jacket.
Jace didn't even think about his other biggest fears, his favorite jacket going away with a flying demon.
Yeah, this. Oh, I also love this too because the winged demon drops Clary off perfectly next to Maya.
Yeah.
And Maya's like, hey,
I
thanks for swooping in.
Maya and Simon were like in a room underneath like levels of this giant boat, but I guess they were on like top deck or something because like
I thought they were too. No, but they were on top deck.
Does Cassandra Clare know the floor map of a boat and how that works? But
I don't know. I just wish I knew how big this boat was because at some point Jace falls through the floor too, and I'm like, where is he now?
Yeah, and because they describe this boat as bigger than a yacht, and like I think when we first see it, so like this boat's massive, right?
Yeah, I pictured one of those like war aircraft carriers, to be honest, like almost that big in my brain.
But this boat seems very tiny based on the plot of this book.
So Maya's like, thanks for swooping in, thanks for dropping by. Bad news, Simon's dead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and like meanwhile, Luke and Jace are just fighting like the demons raining down from the sky, and they cannot keep hold of them.
Yeah, Jace is mowing them down with his new fearless rune.
Clary learns a new rune, which is big hole to escape.
and she like pushes Maya through this hole to like weasel through. Valentine shows up and he's like, where's Maya?
This scene is like very much like parent, like you know those tubes that kids go through at like the like Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah,
this
for sure.
Very much giving Valentine is Clary's like trying to skitter through one of these tubes, pulling her out. Where do you think you're going?
I know. I felt the same way because I thought she was kind of stuck in there a little bit, and he just rips her back. You'll never believe it. Another demon takes off with them to a second location. Never a good sign.
Are really helpful.
Jace's jacket is toast. He's not getting that back.
No.
Valentine
Maybe can make a rune for a new jacket.
Maybe they can. They can just conjure it out of thin air. Valentine at the second location is like, listen, you little slut, I'm onto you and Jonathan's perverse sibling love. And that's kind of where that
it is weird to me that like this entire book I'm siding with the villain being like, yeah, that is actually pretty messed up.
Yeah, I'm happy someone's talking
Yeah,
about it.
I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad that this bad guy can actually call out that incest is bad.
He's like, my moral compass may be pretty fucking crazy, but I don't like when sisters and brothers kiss.
The line at incest, it's like, yeah, you should. um,
Jace is having a moment with the Inquisitor where she puts him in something that he can't escape. And I will say, okay, this moment is really interesting because it's seeming that she is piecing together that Jace is actually not Valentine's son because she sees a
yes.
scar that he has and she brings up Michael Wayland and then she immediately gets killed, which sucks.
Yeah, yeah. So she tries to like whisper some truth bit to Jace, but he's like, "What did you say, you crazy bitch?" And then she dies with her last breath. So he's like, "That didn't make any sense."
She does
Uh,
such a like quick 180 because I think that she sacrifices herself in
yeah,
his
she's
place as a
protecting Jace.
demon's going to kill
This
him.
was way too tiny of a scene for how many long scenes we get. Like the fact that we didn't get a longer like build up with this like Inquisitor in this moment it was such a miss to me.
I agree. But the show must go on. Isabel and Alec, they show up. Another demon is gearing up to attack them. Isabel gets sprayed with this demon poison, and Alec drags her to safety and he gets thrown across the ship by this
Yeah,
different demon that
he
Jace
falls
is.
overboard and gets knocked unconscious.
He does. And Jace,
Yikes.
he gets just body slammed through levels of the ship. He is just falling down. But he
Yeah.
likes to jump. He's really
It's pretty
excited.
good. He'll always land on his feet. He's like a cat.
Lemons into lemonade. He gets to jump. His favorite thing.
They're like, Clary, her powers are she can make these cool runes. Jace is kind of like a cat. He always lands on his feet.
Always lands on his feet. And like, remember how the demon bird dropped Clary right into the midst of things? This is
Yeah.
kind of the same with Jace. He just falls exactly where he's supposed to be, which is
Easy.
where
Yeah, because
Valentine
honestly,
is.
I don't know if you have ever tried to like get around a big boat. It's hard. There's too many hallways and doors. They lead to too many places. So it's really nice of these demons to just speed up
It's
this
actually
plot.
it's actually super nice of it. Like Laura said, Alec is in the water. He gets dragged out. Magnus Bane is on the boat, and he's kind of running out of magic to save everyone. So Alec is like, "Here, take my hand, take my energy." Very cute
Yeah.
moment. Gays are real. Jace, once again, he's in the perfect spot. He's with Valentine, which is awesome sauce because Valentine's gonna give his evil monologue of a lifetime about how he's like, Jace, please, 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 please join me. You're just like me. You're just as evil and bad as me. And Jace is like, no! And he takes his steel and he stabs him. And it turns out that it was just the demon of fear, Agramon.
Yeah, and
He
Jace
didn't actually kill him.
faced his fears, and then Jace stumbles across Simon's body somehow. We don't know like how, and in a way that is crazy to me that we did not explain this at all. Simon's just not fully dead yet.
He's a one.
Absolutely insane to me. Simon got his throat slit and was bleeding out, and he's after all of this, he's just still alive.
Yeah, wouldn't you make sure if you went through all this effort to kill them that they're like really dead?
Yeah,
No,
so we
but
don't know how or why, and we're not gonna. They're not. It's not gonna be explained. But Simon's just not dead yet. So Jason's like, "Oh, you can have some of my blood."
he does. He raises his arm to him where he's been hurt in battle. Simon goes on drinking the blood. He's back in the game. He does apologize after that, which is so nice. But now he's got some angel blood in him, so level up, baby.
Level up.
Level
Um,
up.
Jason Simon land in with Clary and Valentine. So again, very convenient that they find the exact people they need to talk to, and they just argue with him back and forth. Like there's no big monologues, there's no big like revelations. It's just kind of an argument.
It is kind of an argument, and there is another loose end that is tied up so quickly in that it just stops existing. Valentine has the sword to Clary's throat, and when he takes it away, it's like all of her blood, like her entire body is freezing ice.
Yeah.
And Jace is like, remember how special you are, remember. And she's like, oh, wait, fuck, I can do my little rune thing. And she draws a rune on the side of the ship and says open, and it basically blows up the ship.
So basically all we've learned is Clary is Rudy from the show Chalk Zone, if you remember that, with his magic piece of chalk and everything would turn to life.
Oh my god, I forgot. That's a really deep cut.
Yeah. And that's also a really great analogy if you ask me.
It is. So she wakes up after she blows up the ship, and the ice isn't a thing anymore. She's not feeling the ice in her
No.
veins. She's like totally fine.
Yeah, we get no like description of how this ship like sinks or the aftermath of the battle. Clary just wakes up and they're all sailing home and they're like, man, what a day.
Yeah, they really are. They're like, I think it really just like everything came apart. And luckily, this was my favorite part was that, hey, we actually did it. Clary, if you hadn't done that, everyone would have died. And you'll never believe this. Demons can't swim. So they all
And they
died.
went, and Valentine's gone again. Like, oh.
Yeah, Valentine's gone. It was all of the fairies finally followed through and they came in and they pulled everyone out of the water. And then they're all freaking out because they're like, oh my god, wait, the sun's coming up. Wait, oh my god, Simon is stuck.
Crazy is Simon turns to Clary and goes, you know what? I think it's time for me to die, actually.
He really does.
He's like, I'm good.
Which makes me believe that we shouldn't have made him a vampire. I mean, yeah, he's obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, but her gut was like, yeah, I think we gotta keep him alive. I don't think he wants to be alive.
He literally says, he's like, this has been fun. I'm good though. But he doesn't die. They describe his skin as like shimmering. It's implied that Jace's angel blood that's not fully confirmed yet is angel blood, and that's how he can be in the sunlight now.
Exactly. And we end with Marzi explaining that she wants Jace to stay at the Institute. She only threatened to kick him out because she was like, I didn't think it was safe for you here because the Inquisitor was coming. And that is where the book ends. But we do get an epilogue. Of course, we get an epilogue.
Where Clary goes to Simon and he's like, man, I'm still a vampire, but I love that I can go outside now.
He's like gardening in his backyard. He's thrilled.
It's in a full 180 being like, I think we should just be friends. And so I guess they're
she's
just
like,
friends now.
is this about Maya? For some reason, she's like not
jealous,
thrilled about this. Why?
No.
I don't know.
Like pit me as that kind of person that she would just be like, what do you mean you're not in love with me?
I know, because she's like,
I don't love you, you should be in love with me.
She's like, is this about Maya? And he's like, well, yeah, because Maya kind of looks at me the way that you look at your brother, and I kind of want that.
I kind of want the way you feel about your brother, but with a person I'm not related to. Does that make sense?
Are you following?
I know this might sound crazy to you, but hear me out.
Luke, who I assume is like 50 years old, and Clary have a conversation. Clary is like 16, and she's giving him love advice, which is like, you've been pining for my mom for 20 years, and at some point she said she couldn't date because she gave her heart away. Have you ever thought about maybe like telling her? And he was like, no.
He's like, oh, you could do that? And Clary's like, I'm going to take my love into my own hands, and she's going to go tell Jace how she really feels. And he cut his hair now, and she's like, wow, that looks awesome. And they're at the like diner that they went to in the first book, and he's going to grab some like to-go food. And before Clary can be like, I think we should give this a real go, Jace is like, I'm really sorry for the way I've been acting. I think I should just be your brother from now on.
Yeah, and she's like, that's great, but inside she's dying because she wants to be kissing cousins so bad.
Sobs on the subway the entire way home, and as she's leaving whatever station she gets off at, Shadowhunter we've never heard of before named Madeline finds her somehow and is like, I need you to know that Jocelyn put herself to sleep and into that coma, and only I can wake her up. That's the end of the book.
That's the end of the book. And ladies, if you're listening, don't take the subway after a breakup. Treat yourself to an Uber with our promo code.
Should we start making up sponsorships and promo codes that don't exist?
I think it'd be really funny. We're coming as
Sob 25 for 25% off your next.
Like 30 listeners are like, they sold out, and we're like, we wish. No, this is a bit that we're doing.
We wish we were making money off of this, you guys.
We wish. So this brings us to our top 5, which honestly we're really thrilled about our top 5. This was a tricky book. I think there was one topic that we hit the most, and we ran with it. We're doing the top 5 better titles for this book.
Because City of Ashes doesn't make any fucking sense.
There was
no city. There was no ashes. There was a boat. There was incest.
My thing is, I think it was because the boat blew up. But
I thought the boat more like folded in on itself. I was like, if Simon had died and turned into a pile of ash, You could have argued
then we
that.
could have done City of
We could have, but
Ashes.
there's no fires in this book.
Do you want to go because the way it's? I think that you should. Yeah.
Coming
Okay.
in at number 5, we think a better title for this book would be The SS Valentine. The villain has a boat now. Really hits home the part where Valentine has a boat now because it's not explained in the book at all.
Yeah, and so when you go in with that, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're like,
okay,
oh,
he's
I
gonna have a
understand
boat.
that. I know what I'm getting into in the second book. The villain has a boat now.
Number 4 is just a pretty simple one. Mom's in a coma. Oh well.
Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of really channeling the attitude of every character anytime something happens in this book. They're like, oh well.
Oh well.
Number 3, City of Incest, I think would nail hit the nail on the head personally.
Yeah, I really think that that's the entire theme of this book.
Yeah.
Is we're always going to the city of incest.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding. Number 2 is gonna be the fairy queen knows and she likes it.
I think that's poetic. I'm like, what does she know? Oh, and we get to that scene and I'm like, oh, she knows and she likes it.
Yeah, it's great foreshadowing of what's to come.
And number 1, this is between a best friend and a brother, which I think would have just really
I think that
poster
naming
for this book.
every other book can be the city of, and then just this one break it. I think that would be awesome.
This really describes Clary's kind of internal struggle, but mostly her just being like, man, my brother's still hot. That's crazy.
Exactly.
And all of that. But wow, we really did that, huh?
We really did. And, we will be back next week with the 3rd book. If you want to email us. City of Glass. I actually get that one.
That one makes sense. That one actually makes perfect sense. So,
and if you want to email us at MeggieandLauraPresent@gmail.com, we are, back up and running. If you just want to tell a friend to listen to us or even give us 5 stars, that would be awesome.
It would be so nice if you guys could tell somebody else about this podcast.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 years and it would be cool to actually have a steady following.
Yeah. We would love that. And maybe also it would be cool if we were more steady with our seasons, but things happen and we're only 2 people. If we had the means to realistically do this regularly, we would.
That's so true. Laura's engaged now, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I'm showing my ring off this isn't an audio medium.
Hey, we can turn it back visual if I get on my shit and make little videos. Laura's engaged now. We got to show off the ring, the bling.
It's a pretty ring, you guys. I want you to know. It's got an emerald on it.
It is pretty. It's gorgeous. So yeah, if you want to email us about that, actually.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of my engagement ring if you email us.
Yeah, super exciting. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, love you guys. Bye.